Hello and welcome to episode 65 of our circumnavigation of the English and Welsh coastline by motorcycle. We set off from Weston-super-Mare way back in episode 1, and at this point we have travelled nearly 5,000 miles anti-clockwise around our wonderful coast. You may have figured out that we're nearly there, but believe it or not, we've got another 600 miles to complete the trip. You join us on day 32. Stick around to see the hotel we treated ourselves to at the end of this amazing day.
We finished the last episode just north of Aberystwyth. We commented on how apparently unremarkable the towns of Borth and Aberaeron were, in particular highlighting their very short Wikipedia entries. Well, Aberystwyth couldn't be more of a contrast. Anyone visiting either the town or the Wikipedia page would be forgiven for thinking it's the capital of Wales, but it's not even one of Wales's 7 cities and has a population of less than 17,000. Despite this, it regards itself as the unofficial capital of Mid Wales. So why is it so grandiose and home to many prestigious institutions such as the National Library of Wales, National Screen and Sound Archive of Wales, the Royal Commission on the Ancient and Historical Monuments of Wales, the Welsh Language Society, the Institute of Grassland and Environmental Research, the Welsh Books Council, and the offices of the Standard Historical Dictionary of Wales, to name a few? The answer is Aberystwyth University. It was founded over 150 years ago in 1872 and, despite a few name changes, it is the oldest continually operating university in Wales. Aberystwyth University has over 8,000 students and claims its Department for International Politics is the oldest in the world. Aberystwyth is clearly proud of its academic heritage, and the town's economy and culture relies heavily on university life. That said, it is also a tourist destination. The arrival of the railway in 1864 gave rise to a Victorian tourist boom, becoming a significant holiday destination for working and middle-class families from South Wales.
Lovely beachfront terrace, isn't it? All the way along. Beautiful.
The imposing building on our left was built in 1866 as the Queen's Hotel and was a grand place to stay in one of its 83 bedrooms. In the Second World War, it was commandeered as the local Royal Air Force base, never to reopen as a hotel. Post-war, it became a municipal building and at various times housed the council, a police station, a register office for weddings, a university lecture theatre and the county archives. The local magistrates' court later moved into the building, using the former ballroom as their main court. The council moved out in 2009 and the court left in 2012. In 2013, the council failed to sell the building for the asking price of £1 million, and it was subsequently sold at auction for £530,000. It is currently being converted into a spa hotel. It is perhaps most well known for being used for the external scenes of the police station in the crime series Hinterland. The imposing building to our left was intended to be the Castle Hotel, but was never to be. In 1867, the fledgling university bought the unfinished bankrupt building for £10,000, and it became the original college and is still a big part of the university today.
A ruin there, looks like a ruined castle.
Aberystwyth Castle was built by Edward I of England in 1277. During the Welsh uprising, Owen Glendower captured the castle, but it was recaptured by the English 4 years later in 1408. In 1637, Charles I turned the castle into a royal mint. Loyal to the king, the mint's operator raised a regiment of royalist soldiers during the English Civil War. Upon his victory, Oliver Cromwell destroyed the castle, leaving what you see today to prevent it from being ever used again as a stronghold. So we're riding out to that headland over there on the far right to turn around and come back. That's not headland, it's a quay now.
Yeah, I was just looking at it thinking, does he mean headland? Because that's a long way away.
Oh, pastel-y colours on these houses are gorgeous, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yep.
Getting back to Aberystwyth's Wikipedia page, it reads like an inflated CV. It is over 7,000 words with 113 references. For a population of 16,500, it manages to boast 266 notable people, including 15 footballers, 14 musicians, and perhaps not surprisingly, 136 academics. On the face of it, pretty impressive from a town that is ranked way down at 622 for UK population. The funny thing is, from a quick glance, I didn't recognise any of the notable people. I don't want to be unkind, but maybe someone has even more time than me to unearth trivia. Town bridge.
The lovely town of Aberaeron, with its splendid architecture and variety, was created by the Reverend Alban Thomas Jones Gwyn. He was a country vicar who, having inherited 2 estates and a considerable fortune, left rural Hampshire with his newfound wealth and set about developing this small town. His property included the small harbour here that was in a poor state of repair. Alban realised it could be made more useful and profitable if it was enlarged and properly maintained. This greatly benefited local trade, including fishing, shipbuilding, and coastal imports and exports. Sea captains, fishermen, and local tradesmen moved in, and the new town of Aberaeron grew and prospered.
Of course, it's a very pretty place.
Alban's son, Colonel Gwyn, continued the development of the town after his father's death. He worked with an architect to develop a master plan and standard designs for the houses. The charming little town, now popular with holidaymakers, is regarded as a model of Georgian town planning.
While other Welsh places with less anglicised names have taken to renaming themselves, Quay has not. However, don't let this persuade you into thinking it doesn't have a rich Welsh heritage. It does. It was once one of Wales's biggest shipbuilding centres and employed hundreds of men in its maritime economy. But perhaps its most significant contribution to Welsh culture is the inspiration this small fishing village provided to Wales's most famous Welsh poet and writer. I may not have recognised one of Aberystwyth's 266 notable people, but straight away I know New Quay's single most famous person, Dylan Thomas. New Quay, said Thomas's wife Caitlin, was exactly his kind of place, with the ocean in front of him and a pub where he felt at home in the evenings. He wasn't born here, but it's widely accepted the 10 months he lived here between 1944 and 1945 while escaping the German bombing of Swansea were the most creative and productive of his adult years. In particular, it seems the place provided the inspiration for Under Milkwood. The drama is centred around the dreams and innermost thoughts of the inhabitants of a fictional small Welsh fishing town. Thomas named his fictional village Llaregub, which is bugger all spelt backwards. Originally a 1954 radio drama, the work was adapted to film in 1972 and then again in 2015. Llangharn is often cited as the inspiration for Llaregub, but the consensus seems to side with New Quay. The drama doesn't end here. The Thomases lived in a chalet. A British Army officer who had returned from the war and suspected Thomas of sleeping with his wife fired a Sten machine gun and threw a grenade into the building. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but Thomas left a short while afterwards. The 2008 movie The Edge of Love tells the story and was filmed on location in the village. Dylan Thomas's life was chaotic and he died in 1953 at the age of 39, but his letters reveal that his short time in New Quay was the happiest of his life. Okay, we're not staying, we're not sticking around here.
Too many people.
I can remember this as well.
Yeah.
We stopped, they came down here and we went for a dip.
We did. Yeah. Yes. Very nice.
A quick visit.
Yeah. There's people there, quick, go away.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, look at that, it's a pleasant bay, isn't it?
Yeah. It's gorgeous.
Hello.
We have a story to tell. What's it called? Cliff
Hotel.
Cliff Hotel.
Gilbert.
Down there is the Cliff Hotel.
Yeah.
But this is also part of the Cliff Hotel.
It's all they had left.
So we're gonna have a look. It's half of a bungalow. Which we don't think has actually been rented out before. They've been doing it all up. And if nothing else, we've got the view. Look at that.
Keep it.
We don't need a dryer.
Oh. Well, that's very pleasant.
Wow.
Look at this.
We've not had this before.
This is posh for us.
This is very posh.
This is upmarket. We were looking for an upmarket room at the hotel itself.
Yeah.
But then we did quite a very helpful guy, extremely helpful. They just sold the last room, and I think they were desperate to still accommodate us.
He was.
And he was explaining it's a family-run business and it's a great place to work for, and that they owned other places. They actually owned the other hotel across the road where we just had a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And he tried a place up the road at Aberaeron. I said, "Oh, we just come through there. We don't want to go back." He said, "Okay." And he ended up ringing the boss, and apparently she said, "Well, why don't you put them in the cottage?"
It's called Seal.
Yeah, it's called Seal, and I'm not sure why, but this cottage is completely empty. No one else is here, but the rooms are ready. They're both ready to use, and but I don't know why they're not put out. For whatever reason, they're not. And so they said, "Yeah, stick them in here," and we've got access to the spa.
In the last episode, we gave an insight to how we planned this trip. We had a one-day-at-a-time philosophy and rarely booked ahead. We figured in the worst-case scenario we could simply ride home if we had to. At this point we had thought we would press on, but having stopped for a break we noticed the rather nice Cliff Hotel and Spa next door. The combination of our tired bodies, the looming grey clouds and the lure of a luxurious spa experience convinced us we were due a treat. As it happened, the next day was a washout and we ended up staying 2 nights. It wasn't that expensive and worth every penny. The hotel was great in every way, service, quality, facilities, but perhaps above all the location. Overlooking Cardigan Bay, this place makes for an ideal weekend getaway. Take no notice of Jared's weird sense of humour. I particularly enjoyed looking out to discover what wildlife I could see. Cardigan Bay has the largest population of bottlenose dolphins in Europe. The dolphins grow to around 4 metres in length and can weigh over 400 kilos. They live for more than 40 years and produce only 1 calf every 3 years. They are present all year round, but May to November are the best months. Early morning, evening and immediately after high tide are the ideal times of the day. The coastline between Quay and Cardigan is also well known for harbour porpoise and grey seals.
1, 2, 3.
It's a good job I recharged myself for what was to come. Join us next time to see how this happened and how we managed to get ourselves out of it.